Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Cold days like this are cruel. You cough, you splutter, so does your car. Its battery dead, killed by an icy claw. Will anyone stand up to winter? Yes, you. Come to Halfords. We fit new batteries on the spot from just £15. And we're open late, 7 days a week. Find your local store now at halfords.com. Ready for the cold snap? Ready for anything. Halfords, for life's journeys.
Batteries sold separately. Selected vehicles only. In most stores, opening times vary.
Has someone tried to trick you when it comes to your heart and money? How do you know if someone is faking it online? Yes, there is such a thing as a relationship scammer. So this week, let's discover how to spot the faker and swiftly walk away. I'm Kari Watt. I'm a communication specialist, speaker and writer, and I'm here to be your digital coach, where I give you guidance on how to communicate better in your career and relationships, or on anything you want to ask me. Because communication is my thing, I want to see you become a better communicator, no matter where you are in the world, how old you are, or what you do for a living. Now, if you're new to my podcast, please subscribe to encourage that I'm actually making a positive influence. And if you're not new and haven't subscribed, come on now, what are you doing? Can you help a girl out? We all realise that social media has some lonely people trying to make friends or find a relationship. And there are some of us that are trying to make a real difference in people's lives, whether it's coaching relationships such as Renee Slansky or intellectual property such as the Nate Max TV project. Now, lately I've been contacted by several guys sending me really inappropriate messages, even though my profiles are of a professional nature. There's no me in a bikini or girls in a bikini or suggestive images, nor is there much about my personal life. I mean, some of the message I receive are really sad tales like, I've lost my wife, or my wife left me when my daughter died and I'm traveling the world looking for the one. Seriously? Did they not read my profile? You're contacting a communication specialist. I can read between the lines because that is my job. And this leads me to this week's topic on relationship scammers. Dating and romance scams can often take place through online dating websites, but scammers also use social media or email to contact you. They have been known to telephone their victims as a first introduction. These scams are also known as catfishing. Now, scammers typically create fake online profiles designed to lure you in. They may use a fictional name or take on the real identities of trusted people, such as military personnel, aid workers, or professionals working abroad. Another thing to think about is dating and romance scammers will express strong emotions for you in a relatively short period of time. They may suggest you move the relationship away from the website or online to a more private channel, such as phone, email, or instant messaging. They often claim to be from Australia or another Western country. Now, this is something to be wary of when you first meet someone as well. If you go on a date and they're already expressing their feelings for you, be really wary. These types of people often have heightened emotions that aren't based on reality and will soon come crashing down. Now, scammers will go to great lengths to gain your interest and trust, such as showering you with loving words, sharing personal information, and even sending you gifts. They may take months to build what you might feel like is a romance of a lifetime and may even pretend to book flights to visit you, but never actually come.
On the Kari Cares podcast.
Once they've gained your trust and your defenses are down, they'll ask in a subtle way or directly for money or gifts or banking credit card details. They may also ask you to send pictures or videos of yourself, possibly of an intimate nature. I advise don't do this. You just never know what they're going to do with that. Often a scammer will pretend to need the money for some sort of personal emergency. For example, they might claim to have a sick family member who requires medical attention such as an operation, or they may claim financial hardship due to an unfortunate run of bad luck such as a failed business or a mugging in the street. The scammer may even say they want to fly over to visit you but can't afford the fare unless you're able to lend them the money to cover the flight. I've got a good example of this actually. A few years ago, one of my coaching clients was approached on Facebook from a man who claimed to find her really attractive, and he was about 20 years younger than her. He even sent a copy of his passport to identify himself. Now, she called me because they'd been talking but wasn't quite sure of some of the messages because they didn't quite make sense. There were a few spelling mistakes, and he began asking for money to help him buy a plane ticket and that he'd pay her back at the end of the month. Now, after some investigation, I ended up researching the person on the passport to find out that he was a CEO of an American company. After contacting his personal assistant, we discussed what had happened, and she claimed it was a third person letting them know his identity was being used for relationship scams in Australia. Somehow his passport was stolen over the internet. Now, the thing to think about here is if you have a profile picture showing that you're more affluent or wealthy than you are, be kind of wary. I mean, it's okay if you don't mind that, and you are, but my client was wearing pearls on her Facebook profile and she looked very sophisticated. However, little did the relationship scammer know that she was at the time living in a council house and trying to get back into the workforce after being a stay-at-home mum for many years. Today, she's got a great job and a lovely new relationship, but you can kind of see my point. Relationship scammers may also attempt to lure you overseas, putting you in dangerous situations that can have tragic consequences. Regardless, you'll end up losing a lot of money. Online dating and romance scams cheat Australians out of millions every single year. The money you send to scammers is almost impossible to recover. Plus, you may feel long-lasting emotional betrayal of the person you thought loved you. So here's a few tips on how to protect yourself. Never send money to someone you have never met in person. Always consider the possibility that the person approaching you online could be a scammer. I mean, try and remove the emotion out of your decision, even if the person is persistent or you think you have a connection. Now, a key one here, especially as a communications specialist, is look at things like spelling, and inconsistencies in their stories can be another sign it's a scam. Like their camera never works when you want to Skype each other. That's a huge one. I would be really cautious when sharing personal pictures or videos with anyone online, especially if you've never met them before. Now, if you agree to meet someone online, tell family and friends where you're going. Be careful if you're going overseas to meet them. I mean, this is quite a tricky area, right? Never send money or give credit card details, online account details, or copies of your important personal documents to anyone you don't know. I mean, why would you do that? Another point is be really careful about how much personal information you share on social networks. I mean, scammers can use your information and pictures to create a fake identity. Now, if you come across a relationship scammer, please report it to the police or to ScamWhat. This doesn't mean that all people reaching out on social media are scammers. There may be that one person who is actually real and wants to meet you for the right reasons. This type of person won't ask you for anything except your time. Even a long-distance relationship can work online. I've certainly met lots of friends over social media and caught up with them overseas, and I'm grateful for the introductions. And wouldn't the world be wonderful if we were all so genuine? Thanks for listening. Please subscribe for some good vibes, and because it's free, give this away. Share it with friends or colleagues who could use a little help. Give it to them because they can listen to it privately, and it may significantly change the outcome of their lives. See you next time, because communication is my thing and now it's your thing. Well, I hope it's your thing. I hope it becomes your thing. Is it your thing?
on the Kari Cares podcast.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.